Love that gap scheme, baby. And we saw this last week have success because we didn't hit the hole. So this is an RPO look that we can run. And I'm talking about RPO, and you look at the backside guy, and you can run the slant. But this is a double team that if that linebacker hangs on the backside, you're in really good shape. This is a relatively easy blocked play because Wirfs is one of those tackles that can remove that defensive end on the play side without help. He's just got that kind of ability. You see the drive block that he has there. He does that all day. And so you can run this 9 tight end kind of gap scheme stuff to the weak side, and they like to do it a lot. You see they motion out to trips. And because of the motion, we'll go back. They have no numbers over there. So if you just cut the herd from the center over, you're looking at 4-on-4 with a running back. There's nobody over there. That's just the numbers game that you want. Really, you might not even want to count the linebacker or the safety. The safety's going to back up and be out of the count, and the linebacker's almost head up. So when you just bisect this line, just by moving those guys over into the strong right look, you get free runs. And that's what this team tries to do. They're just trying to create numbers advantages. So now they got 2 tight ends to the bottom of the screen. Excuse me. They're running back on the same side, so you really got 3 to the side. And they do a great job of utilizing the running backs out of the backfield by just running the split and down the middle. And it leaves that linebacker trying to figure out, should I cover the flat? Oh, whoops. They run a little bit of a high arrow route for easy completions. Baker's very, very capable of throwing the ball to an arrow route out of the backfield. He is very capable of hitting the gimmies. On any given day, he could be perfect in hitting the gimmies. Got trips. You look at the outside slot receiver here. Exact same concept, just not out of the backfield, right? Spread them out, clear out, run underneath, focus in that soft spot over the middle of the ball. Do a good job. Again, when I look at this stuff, you're kind of looking at, what do you want to take away? Well, Mike Evans is a deep threat, but where does, Baker's doesn't have the strongest arm. They're going to run some play action to give him time to set up and make the reads easier. But where does he really want to throw the ball? Where does he want to complete a lot of passes? Right over the football, right? As many times as they can. Now we're talking about getting creative. And they're getting creative for the same reason the Packers are getting creative. Because they have to find opportunities to manufacture offense outside of their running game, their regular running game. They don't have, they had good yards last week, but they're only averaging, they're averaging under 100 yards. They're worse than the Packers at running the football. So big question this game is how to guard Evans. You see the Atlanta Falcons here. The safety might be 15 yards back, but who's he staring at? Like, he's staring at the single receiver on the top. And what that does is it should give you options all over the field. Whenever you double the outside, you have to expect somebody else to win. You got a bunch of trips look outside here, and you have your running back releasing to the left as well. So there are plays to be made all over the board. You just got to make them, especially if we determine we're going to take away Evans. Then that pass rush has to get home. Because if you're allowed to release the back and you are, releasing tight end, let's say you're in 11 personnel. If you're going to double Evans when he goes deep and your free safety is going to look that way, Baker Mayfield can get us to his 3rd, 4th, 5th read. If you don't get to him, if you don't make him get rid of the football early, like, he's going to find people. He's not, I'm not saying he's an underrated quarterback, but I think we don't appreciate that he can throw the football because he had some bad years after he started doing those damn Prudential commercials, right? If Baker Mayfield gets out of the Prudential business, okay, he's probably still with Cleveland. He's they're talking about him in a whole different light. Just saying. 6-man box. I'm not counting the corner on Godwin here. This is a six-man box, and if you're going to give up a six-man box and you get run on, it's on you. This is too easy. This is too easy to run the football. And listen, you guys, why'd you show that play? They didn't get a lot of yards. Well, got 4.5. You get 2 doubles. Cody Mock, they got that kid at right guard. He's a rookie. His name's Cody Mock. I forgot. He's like everybody's favorite ginger. I really like this guy. He's a rookie as well. I didn't mention him earlier on the defensive side. He's the offense, but he's everyone's favorite. He was like North Dakota State University Tucker Craft guy. But he's got like a gap tooth, or he's missing a tooth in the front. He looks like a cartoon character. Absolute unit. He had a great Senior Bowl, I think, and NFL Combine. Anyways, huge fan. Huge fan. Let's go back and take a peek at this. Same thing here. Same idea. I'm having some technical issues here. Double team. So these guys aren't killers at moving the ball. Like if I show you a double team of 2 guys that are just nasty at this, they're getting 3, 4, 5 yards off the line of scrimmage, right? The Detroit Lions in the games that we were watching weeks ago. These guys just do a pretty decent job of trying to get to the second level. But you see, if we attack the tackle here and turn this into a single, you see what happens, right? They don't get any movement because they're not guys that are really going to move you off the ball, except for Wirfs. And now these cuts are a lot more difficult. The angle for the guard's more difficult. Everyone remembers that John Wayne Jr. got blown up a couple weeks ago. I think it was against Atlanta, maybe. No, it wasn't Atlanta. Somebody else, Pittsburgh. But Cam Hayward had set the edge over there. So it's like that turn is so dramatic that you can't really set yourself. Okay, these are tough turns for the guard, and they're tough turns for that running back. So the running back's got to have a lot of patience in this offense, especially when they're running the gap stuff. Now they bring in the extra offensive linemen, which we saw a little bit last week, so we should have some answers for that. Do you want to shift your team over? Do you want to shift your line over and account for it, or are you just going to play it straight up and play them like a tight end? Packers last week decided to play it like a tight end. Look how easy this is, though. So they just run really a take scheme. So tight end down, tackle around, pin the end. They're out the gate. I think they pull the center here as well. 10-yard gain. This stuff, if you're going to play 6-man box, if you're going to play a 7 technique against an extra offensive lineman, like these things should happen to you. You get what you deserve. 6-man box again. I'm just reiterating that this is a close game. Like this is when you decide that you're playing against a team that's not very good at something, you're still playing against National Football League quality players. Like, don't forget, this is arrogant. Look at the space. Look how you have a wide 9 and you have like a 7 technique, or like, you have like a 9 technique against Tristan Wirfs. Look at the space that those linebackers have to cover in order to make this work. And they want to play a balanced defense, but good Lord, like that, this is all you can eat. Because again, look at play side. You have a shade. You have the next man on the line of scrimmage is like 7 yards away from him. So this hole, I mean, you're asking a linebacker. It's like, well, the linebacker's got the B gap. Yeah, well, which one? I mean, there's room for 3 B gaps in here. So he just can't fill tight enough. Plus, a block on a shade double team is the easiest block in football to get vertical on. And this is where Tampa really started running the ball down. The Falcons didn't learn. They just, okay, well, I guess maybe we'll bring a corner overhang here. So they got the safety over the top at 10 yards deep. Corner overhang, we don't even put him in the count because we don't think he can tackle. I'm talking about how you scheme for this. And they're not mauling anybody. No one's getting murdered here. You got a single block. 64 does a good job here. And watch this. This is not a great block. But what he does is he sticks with it. He doesn't fall off. He keeps pressure on the guy. If you can keep pressure, good things happen. Little wrinkle here. You got a hipped off tight end, and they got what I would call like a true stutter, where they're going to lead the guard and they're going to bring the tight end around for the secondary block. A nice little 5-6 yard gain. Screen game's in play. They quickly identified that it was a man matchup on the tight end. It's obvious here the way they brought them up. So you see that the linebackers, the box linebackers, are already in the box. I think that's actually a nickel or a safety, but they're both walked up. One's in the A, one's in the B. He's immediately on the line of scrimmage. It's super easy for the center, the playside guard to identify. And now Rashawn White goes, 30 yards for a touchdown. So these guys are making plays when plays are there to be made. You see it here. Yeah, it's 33. So 33 falls him out of the backfield. The problem is 33 is not nearly as good at taking on blocks as a linebacker. Okay, so these are things that the Packers, from a defensive standpoint, you either got to go stick to them now and worry about getting run around, or you really have to be able to attack this play side guard. This is a very viable play. And you see this screen, they're lining this thing up inside the numbers. Like, they're not trying to put this thing wide and get up. They're very, very comfortable starting this thing in real tight because it's man coverage. And he's a more than capable running back when you get the ball in his hands. And just, the big thing here is, I think I said it before, don't sleep on Baker. He's a good football player. This is a 35-yard handoff. I mean, if you see this ball in real time, that's a 35-yard handoff. He makes a great read. They're going with a match coverage here, and it's just an out, a deep out. You got to clear out over the top. And it's a 35-yard handoff. It's a really, really good throw. And then the last play to the tight end here with a little fade route, another really good throw in the end zone.